Rings. Okay, so this would be a short connection here. Going to Timeline Wars and Secret Space Program. So Timeline Wars is pretty self-explanatory. Just anything that needs to be going to the new year. If anything, you can say whatever they can. That does we'll be able to understand all of it, or we're not. We're in the physical form, so there's only so much we can do anyway. Just live it, survive it, try not to go crazy. Not try to get too ahead of yourself. Of course, secret space stuff. So that would just be different connection. Just like the different alien species energy that's connected to it that's affecting us, or NASA, or whatever it needs to. Of course, there's a huge group of there that's just like completely obsessed with it, and they're not exactly too healthy, but whatever. Some people like Star Trek, some people like Star Wars, some people like the Secret Space Program. I can't say they get away from it. Yeah, does it pertain to your life here? I might keep their sanity, I guess, or maybe they're just used to being insane. Of course, the spiritual. Yeah, those are spiritual, I guess, snobs that are out there. I think they know everything. So them, that's the thing. I realize the spiritual snobbery that's out there that I'm not going to go into. Which is a lot of that's out there. Then when you feel like you know everything, more power to you. More power to you on that one. So that's just to hide insecurities. That's all, or burying them or something like that. All right, so let's see what we get. We're just not going to do anything normal. We're just kind of wing it, and not your traditional connections here. Of course, I've done this Timeline Wars in the past. So that was what I call my private sessions. Scheduler, and we have the shop also here. So the site's pretty bare bones, but that's kind of the idea of it for enjoy it while it lasts. So Timeline War energies, kind of see where that goes, and feel my frequency. Okay, all right. We're just wherever that needs to be said, might do a time future from another year, maybe 2004, 24. We're not doing. They can do that, but it doesn't mean it's going to tell us really anything. All right, so Timeline War energies, and then secret space. Okay, all right, blessings. Greetings. But energies, Timeline War, but it's almost connected to Arcturians, Zeta. All alien species have some form of timeline connection here to Earth. Well, not all alien species throughout the universe, but those that you're familiar with, let's put it that way. At least the more familiar ones, the more popular energies, Pleiadian, Syrian, and so on, Andromeda. They can get pulled into this Earth, and they gotta find their way out. Well, if you're an alien species and you're tampering into timeline, you're doing things you should not be doing, you can get pulled into an incarnation. It's like pulling into an ocean. It's like you go too deep, then you're gone. If you don't know what you're doing. But there's also Timeline Wars actually to put you on your direction. So if you maybe move off direction, doesn't mean you're off. Maybe it's like they're trying to move you back to a better place than where you chose. But they don't always do that. It all depends on the situation. Well, especially if it's going to affect others in a negative way, or just they're not exactly conveying why your timeline changed to begin with. You might think it's one thing when it's actually another, and so on. Sometimes you go into a new time or a short timeline for a short time, and then you get kicked back into another one. Like you're just there for a short time for something new, and so on. We're being kind of general for various different reasons. Like you see the wars that they're trying to start. Or yes, there was a war in Israel. Yeah, there was a lot of that was like a purge. There's things that had to be done. Yes, it's war. It's not going to be pleasant. And the beings that cause death and destruction, yeah, they're going to be stuck here for a very long time. They got to clean it up, meaning lifetime after lifetime. That's up to them. So that's, and yes, many of you want to do something about it, save the world and things like that, but obviously you get pulled in. Yeah, it's not really part of your reality. It's someone else's reality. So like you see starvation in the world. There's a lot of timeline wars with that. Also, like the homelessness, we get to the U.S. Some of those homeless people are time travelers, meaning some of them that can manipulate realities. Like sometimes they scale down to such a simplicity. They can actually, move through astral pretty quickly. It doesn't mean that they're causing, taking over the world or anything like that. But sometimes they can be an angelic energy in the spirit realms, and then others can be more like a demonic, like another homeless person. Let's give you some clarity there. But a lot of the homeless people actually are here to assist humanity, but to live on the bare bones of existence here. Well, it's like one way is like you live because you don't have material possessions. Yes, you obviously need to feed yourself and keep warm and things like that, or keep cool, whatever it is. It's like you have the bare necessities, like you're practically not even here. It's like and that way you just have less to think about here in in the physical. So when you go into non-physical, you're carrying less, and you can move faster. And you go back to your homeless body, and you're just okay. I have to collect cans or whatever it might be, or try not to get hit by a drug guy, which is not easy. But yeah, just never. And so you can say there's a lot of time travelers currently, especially the homelessness energy that's increased. Now, obviously, a lot of them are not. It's like a timeline war just with that. You have good ones and you have bad ones there. Let's put it that way. So to give you some, like a homeless camp could be fighting among each other astrally. Not always, but most likely there's something going on. So if you're looking for a battlefield, that's another way of looking at it. Of course, also you have the corporate field. Also, the politicians, a lot of them are being switched out by different entities, and most people don't notice. But because society, like in the political world, they become so superficial, so fake, it's easy to put in a different soul that's somewhat, going to act the part. You think about acting, like you go on a stage and you act and play a character. Think about when your soul is put into a foreign body. Here, play this person and do the best you can. I think some of you have seen that in a movie. It was like, oh, that person's left hand before they were right. That does exist. They try not to make it too obvious. But like I said, the political fronts, it's easy to get along because they don't believe in spirituality. They don't believe in anything. They're just all conspiracies so they can get away with it. And of course, most of society is designed the same way for now. They have to see it to believe, but you can't see a soul, not really. I mean, you can through the eyes, mannerisms, things like that, but energy-wise, you can't really see one floating around. Obviously, there's a lot of souls floating around, but don't make yourself too paranoid there. It's just the way it is. But society has been obviously taught to, you can say, dumb itself down spiritually, so it can be the way it is right now. But it doesn't mean society will ever really accept any of this thinking, ever. Some will, most won't. It's just the programming of the physical realms it's so important for a soul to really kind of get through it. They're not ready for the non-physical. Let's put it that way. But they come into the physical body. They're going to, they have a timeline for that, so they're not about to leave it anytime soon. That's what happens. So some can, advance quicker than others. Like, okay, now I'm ready to go back to the spirit realms, or at least understand it more, because they kind of, I don't want to say breeze through the physical, experience, but just have a better understanding. That's why I have so many lifetimes with it. Because when you incarnate here in the physical, usually you're all about physical in the beginning. Some do have more of a spiritual connection to a certain level, but most obviously are here to experience the physical for whatever reason. Yeah, some of them might be pulled from some other reality. That happens all the time. As for timeline wars, like with the Arcturians, like Zetas, they're this reality affects their reality, so they don't really have to do much here, but sometimes they do interact with. They don't want their world to be even more manipulated. Like those are obsessed with technology, try to help with West technology addicts, but they get help also. Zetas get you can't get other Zetas to help you. Sometimes you have to connect to other species to assist with humanity here, kind of letting go of technology. Some, or yes, focus on our relationship. Focus on anything but your tech. Of course, the technology people, as you can see, it's another high. It's another drug, and obviously, it's been consuming many. Yeah, that's a legalized drug, just like alcohol. So, as you can see, so there's just the timeline for wars frequencies. Uh, yes, there are souls that are pulled in from other realities for whatever reason. Yes, some of them against their will, uh, but realize their energy was already, you can say, pulling this reality in already. Like they're already getting close enough to it as is. But a timeline where, yeah, you can, get pulled out of a higher dimension, depending on what your ranking, what your situation is. Yeah, they can put you in, yeah, they can force you into an incarnation and you can just forget your higher dimensional connections. And slowly you can go through the traumas of starting trying to remember yourself. It's not easy though. It doesn't happen very often, but it does happen for whatever reason. Yeah, there's a whole other world that you don't necessarily have to focus on too much, but it does exist. It does exist. Greens, the consciousness of the secret space program. There's a feeling as a feline frequency. Well, yeah, it goes back to just lifetimes in space, as you can see, as some of you remember. That didn't go so well. That connected you to this Earth. So basically, you go through some kind of trauma as an extraterrestrial, and you get stuck into a timeline loop that goes into some kind of secret space energy. You can be pushed into it. Uh, you can be, yeah, assaulted. Like you can be in a peaceful reality, but that world can be invaded, and you get pulled into a timeline, a space program timeline where you can't get out. Where basically you go through a slave experience, whatever it might be. Super soldiers are usually really programmed. So being that is not exactly worth your while. Some are obsessed with it. They're obsessed with the programming of it, the strength of the body, but lack of mental powers. Well, you have mental powers, but your mind's not yours; it's somebody else, and you might not always remember that. It's nothing to brag about, though. It really isn't. It's like it was a mind. It's you see that already in your modern military, but it's worse than secret space, the super soldier. So it is a extreme trauma. Basically, even if you once you do get out of that, yeah, you might be obsessed with working out, health, just your health, but your mental health might be just out there, like complete delusion. Because it's hard to focus on the physical when you're always somewhere else. It's very yeah, it's one, and you do have many of them here. Yes, you have your heavyweights, your people that just can't stop working out. Some of your football players, well, some of them focus on football, so they don't focus on their other kind of yeah negative dream state that they're in. So, actually, sports is a good healer for that, or any type of exercise like running or something like that can help you heal from for the traumas of that. But some of the super soldiers are, you know, have like domestic issues, like they can't heal the violence within themselves. Doesn't mean they're a super soldier here. Yeah, they can be just some squeaky little person, some skinny, squeaky person, just has a lot of violence within them because they're used to fighting all the time. So it sounds like, yeah, a lot of them do have just violent tendencies for obvious reasons. Well, a lot of them have been buried underground or just underground works, and they're just going. Obviously, their minds aren't their minds, but there is some consciousness there. There's not much. It would help, these type of past life memories. Yeah, it's not pretty. None of it is. It's just it's just galactic wars that realize you only know a small percentage of it. There's so much more. You're just going by, you say what this world is allowing, because there's so much more that will truly put you into, basically, remember some of these traumas can also put you back into a trauma. Even your life here can even come to an exit easily and be pulled into, you go back into that trauma in the fourth dimension or fifth dimension. So to let go of it is different methods of all. Just it's different for everybody. A lot of it's just focus on something else. Don't focus on any of it. Now, those that are focusing on it for profit, that's a trickster frequency. Others are trying to figure it out. That's one thing. Research, that's one thing. But others have an agenda, basically. So how many people you can get programmed? And like you can be supposedly saying you're helping others, but this actually programming, doing the same programming as a secret space, but on a lower level. So you're still kind of seeing it now. Such as the blue, was it your blue avian energies? They've been. I mean, there's a portion that's good, but also a portion that's been hijacked. Of course, that's controversial. To say the least. Of course, that's obviously there's groups that say it's not the truth, but then others that say it's beyond truth. There's a Martian energy that's our energies that are. The Martian hasn't been fully described here very well, not really, and a lot of times that's where the most manipulation comes from. We don't fully understand, but they don't want you to see them. They want to say hidden, obviously. I mean, you have some connections there, but a Martian, its true self, has not been fully realized. Some might think they have it, but not really. And not that you need to. But some of these galactic federations of worlds, that some do create their own reality and then sell it to you. And then they're the ones that are like the chief of it. And that is to get you connected to their timeline so they can control you. Of course, they're going to say it with a smile and kindness and whatever it is, but it's kind of, it's like it's spiritual brainwashing, basically. And just because so many want to be intellectually, spiritually connected, not realizing, yes, you can easily take a wrong turn. Why they're allowed to be here, society is letting. They need to go through that lesson. You can close it out, but obviously some need to go through that. And that can also trap you here in an incarnation for a long time, also lifetime to lifetime. They feel like, oh, it's so innocent. Well, look at religions and the same thing. So it doesn't, some of these Galactic Federation of worlds, they don't put religion in their title for a reason. But they're doing the same thing. It's exactly the same. Intention-wise. Well, they also suck the energy of those that follow them too, as many of the priests do, and things like not all priests do that, but some do. The Pope is, of course, there's also like galactic popes and things like that, but your male, female doesn't always have to be a male frequency. And you can see that, those they have all the knowledge of God or all the knowledge of the Galactic Federation of Worlds and all that just to manipulate you. It's there because people need to go through those lessons. So, and yes, doesn't mean you're trapped in it, but you're trapped in that person's reality for a long time until you can free yourself. So,